Boop. 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 You know, sometimes I think about Earth and think, if it really was flat, then... Alright, so, like, one of the flat Earth theories is that the Earth is flat, and that if you go too far out, there is a massive blockade of all the world government's navy, stopping you from going any further. And oh, by the way, in this game, the world is literally flat, and you can go reach the edge, and you can fall off and die, in case you were wondering.
Man.
So like this navy idea, this navy blockading off the end of the world as we know it, is one of my favorite ideas because it's so patently insane. Like, how many ships would you need to be able to get the entire, what is it, circumference? Yeah, circumference of the world. You'd need, like, once again, you run at the head of your warriors, the weight of your father's axe in your hand. You wake with a war cry on your lips. Like, I need to double check what the area of the planet is, like the physical area of the planet is. But it's a massive area. Like, we are a massive planet. Oof. The amount of ships you would need, we don't have enough resources. Even if we, like, chopped down and grew enough trees to make 1,000,000 fucking wooden trees, we wouldn't be able to do that shit. That's an exaggeration. Maybe 1,000,000 trees would be enough to hit the circumference of the planet, but you know, at that point, you're just building a bridge around the world.
I mean, yeah.
Which is a cool idea, to be fair. I would love a bridge around the world. Ah, yes. Would you like to wear a hospital gown as a fashion statement?
I feel like there are better ways to go ass out. Just hot take here.
Hot take.
Exactly. You know, like you can't go wrong with some good old assless chaps, or if you want to like spice it up for fancy occasions, wear that Nero Claudius dress, baby.
Okay, so you know how I feel about the series Chobits, right? We've talked about this, right?
I mean, I've heard you say that you don't like Chobits. That's pretty much all that we've talked about this. What turned you off? Is it the fact that she has a power button in her vagina?
I mean, okay, so as far as designing your own daughter goes, that's a really solid choice if you never want anyone to have sex with your kid. First off.
I mean, you could have just not designed the vagina, but, you know, to each his own.
No. Like, imagine, like, you're in a romantic situation with somebody. You start to, like, do something sexual with them, and they literally you literally turn them off. That is a solid slap to the face. No, you are not doing this. Stop. But also do it one more time so she's not just standing there completely motionless.
Man.
This is a solid way of saying no, don't touch my daughter. But, alright, so I have so many problems with Chobits because so many of the relationships in it are displayed as these good, nice relationships despite being inherently unhealthy and kind of disgusting as well. One example being, okay, so main character Kun's friend is dating their college professor. And they started... Oh. Whoops. Let's fix that. They started dating one day when he was heading home and he passed a park because he was just walking around one day and he just was taking a long way home because he wanted to dick around, as you do. And he saw her sitting in the park crying on the swing set, and he's like, literally, his way of saying this is, I fell in love with her the moment I saw her crying. That's, if I'm remembering, that's almost verbatim what he said. Already, bad start to his feelings. Super bad start. I see this person in a vulnerable position, and that makes me attracted to them. Yes, that's a natural thing. You see somebody in a vulnerable position, and you kind of want to help them. But if your reaction to helping somebody or wanting to help somebody is, also I'd like to get my dick wet, that's a bit more of a problem. Turns out the reason she's sitting outside is because her husband, after getting into the Persicoms and, like, making his own PC, his personal computer, but, like, a woman, is so deep into this Persicom shit that he locks the door and he does the chain lock. So she can't get back inside. And she sees this, thinks to herself, oh, my husband completely forgot that I was even existed. I'm just going to not knock on the door, not call inside for him to let me in. I'm just going to dip. I'm going to go outside, I'm going to be sad, and I'm going to cry. Doesn't try and talk to the person she's in a relationship. Doesn't try and do anything about it. Just decides, that's it. It's over. It doesn't matter anymore.
Honestly, if my partner was building a fucking sex spot, I might be that way.
Fair. That's totally fair. But she doesn't attempt to talk about it. She doesn't attempt to do anything. All of her agency in this situation is, I'm sad, I'm going to walk away, and I'm going to be sad, and then someone's going to come up, and they're going to see I'm sad, and they're going to make me feel better. That's basically it for her. That's not great. That's shitty. That's shitty character writing. That's a shitty character, and the guy who does it is a shitty dude. He knows she's married. He doesn't say, hey, look, I understand what you're going through. I'm going to respect your boundaries because I know you're married, and if you end that relationship, I would love to start something with you, or something like that. By the way, if you're ever in a situation even remotely similar to that, my friend, don't be that straightforward.
No, I think that's how it goes. Women love that shit.
I have a problem where I'm genuinely a very straightforward person, because for me, it doesn't, like, I'm not trying to jerk myself off right now or anything, but it doesn't occur to me to lie.
Let me go get rid of this lotion real fast.
God. Hurry up. But, like, I'm a genuinely pretty honest person because it doesn't occur to me to lie. But that's just because that's who I am. Fuck. Now, sorry, that jerk-off joke completely made me forget why I even started saying that.
It's a mystery.
Do you remember what I was saying literally a minute ago during the Chobits shit that brought this up?
Cuck. I believe the topic of cucking was brought up.
Oh, so, being blunt. I'm a fairly straightforward and honest person. And I have friends who, like, even my family for that matter, will, like, look at me and be like, why are you saying this the way that you're saying it? And I'll be like, what is wrong with the way I'm saying it? And they'll talk to me about it, and I'll be like, you've misunderstood what I've said. That's not what I was meaning. I meant literally only the thing that I said. You're looking for subtext where there is none. I was as direct as I could be about the subject in question. Where it's like, being blunt, people think it's a problem because, well, you're being rude. It's not really a problem because you're being rude, it's a problem because people assume there's subtext and that the subtext is negative. At least that's what I've found in my experience.
Yeah. You say, I don't like this thing, and people think, oh, I think thing is bad, but sometimes it's literally just, I do not personally like thing.
Yeah. I will specify that I don't like Chobits, and I also think it's bad. I will be completely straightforward with you on that. Both of those things are accurate of my opinion on Chobits.
Yeah.
Like, assumed. Yeah, you see, you assumed, which is my point. People assume subtext.
Okay, but to be fair, you have literally, I have seen you post Chobits is an awful series, and it's hard to read subtext into that.
Okay, I have never literally posted that. I will definitely
and send it to you.
You know what?
You have literally posted that.
Do it.
I will.
Not right now because we're having a conversation, but do it. Yeah, so if you're ever in that situation, I would suggest not being that direct and blunt about it because it might make the person feel uncomfortable. But again, you do you, bro. You do you. and potentially this emotionally vulnerable person because you're a fucking scumbag. No offense.
Exactly.
So, main character Kun's friend is a total scumbag who takes advantage of the fact that his college professor is in an emotionally vulnerable position, and he thinks, wow, she's a... Did you actually screenshot something?
Yes! I literally screenshot.
This is from October 30th of 2020.
Yeah, you don't talk about Chobits much. I'm just saying, you've literally said Chobits is an awful series.
Okay. Okay. This is when you know who bought like the Chobits manga, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying. You were saying that you didn't think you literally said it, and I was like, no, you literally said it.
Okay, I wasn't saying that I didn't think that. I was damn certain that I didn't, but apparently I was just wrong. So, you know what? I'll take that out. So, yeah, so he takes advantage of a clearly emotionally vulnerable woman, does not actually care about what's going on with her. He just thinks, wow, this is the perfect opportunity to get my dick wet. Because he's literally in his early 20s, and she's maybe at her oldest in her 30s.
Well, that's just ancient in Japanese terms, man. Might as well be dead, 1 foot in the grave.
Okay. But, like, he doesn't care about this person. He doesn't know her as a person. He sees her crying and thinks, and says that's when he fell in love with her, but really it was like, that's when he realized he could have his way with her. That's the level of relationships in this series. And, like, the best relationship is not even an actual romantic relationship. It's the friendship the main character has with his coworker, I forget her name, who, eventually she gets together with her previous boss. She's a teenager, by the way, and her boss is a grown-ass man. This is, like, all of the relationships in some way, shape, or form are exploitative.
Okay, wait, so let me ask one question.
Okay, you have one question.
Is there pornographic material in this, or is it literally just blue-balling, horny implications the whole way through? Like, is there at least payoff here? Like, why are people watching this? Is what I want to know.
I'm fairly certain it was done by the group Clamp, who did Battle Angel Layer, Angel Layer, Angel Layer, something like that. It's another show, or sorry, it's another series. It also had a show, I think, that has like robots, but these ones are small pocket-sized robots that do fighting, sort of like Custom Robo.
Okay.
I'm
not sure where this is going, but all right.
So I'm basically trying to tell you, there's no chance that anything these people do is going to be like pornographic in nature.
Man. So there's literally no point to this. It's literally just, we're here for the shitty relationships, alright.
Yeah, well, it's a shoujo manga.
Oh my god.
It's a shoujo manga written by a group of female mangaka. And I'm just sitting here thinking, wow, why do you hate women so much? Holy crap!
It's not, that's not even hating women. That's more just like, my sexual fantasy is unhealthy in real life. Like, you know.
Okay, you know what? That is definitely a fair point.
Yeah.
That is definitely a fair point.
Like, some guy who, like, fucking wants to get beaten, stepped on by women and be told that he's a scumbag pig or whatever, probably doesn't actually hate men. I mean, they could. Who knows? But he's more of just gets off on being degraded.
Okay, so to anyone, any young lady or young man who, whatever you, oh my god.
Dang. Rest in fucking peace.
The land was too low. The land was too low, so they were no longer anchored. For anyone who is interested in a relationship, if somebody talks to you and they tell you, hey, I don't like men, I think all men are pigs, and they happen to be a man, they're saying that because they are a man who is a pig.
This is true.
So if you have a fantasy of getting together with some guy or some girl and fixing them, essentially, don't You will not fix them. You cannot fix them. You are incapable of fixing anyone, including yourself. You are only capable of living your life. And if you change for the better, it is a product of not only your own efforts, but of the world that you live in. It is a product of your surroundings just as much as your own efforts. And your surroundings can definitely be altered by your own efforts. So don't lose heart at me saying that you cannot change anyone or anything for the better. Just remember that it's a matter of more than just your efforts alone. It's a matter of things that your efforts can influence, too. But it's still more than just that. It's not... Fuck. I feel like I've lost the... I feel like I've lost the moose on this one.
Yeah, you can't always stop being shitty, but it's good to try. There.
You can't always stop being shitty, but it's good to try, because the first step in not being shitty is trying to not be shitty. Realizing that you have no genuine control over yourself. Coming to terms with that, and trying to live comfortably with yourself. Which is a hard way of... which is an unclear way of explaining it, I fear, because essentially I'm saying, hey, you can't do anything about it. Give up, and just live in a way that makes you happy. Which, in turn, normally will automatically improve your life. But that's not necessarily true. It might not do anything for your life, and you might just be stuck in the same shitty situation you've always been. Does that make sense? Am I making this clearer now, or am I still fucking up?
Doesn't help. Doesn't always help. Figuring shit out doesn't always help. Imagine figuring out exactly what would improve your life, and it's, $10,000 in cash money. And it's like, fuck. If I had $10,000 in cash money, I could literally just buy a house and a car, and I wouldn't be on the street starving anymore. Wild.
I mean, $10,000 is not going to get you that much, but I understand your meaning.
Yeah. But sometimes you look inside yourself and you realize that the problem is that you're a narcissist. Sometimes you look inside yourself and you realize the problem is that you have lung cancer. And sometimes you look inside yourself and realize the problem is that you live in a society. And that sounds ironic, but it's true.
Well, it's considering almost every time you say that, it's supposed to be ironic. It does sound ironic.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, we do live in a society where things happen. But it's like everyone says it, so it gets boring and overused. That we make fun of it, and it loops back around. Like, okay, but we actually do live in a society, and that affects things.
That is accurate, yeah. But yeah, don't try and change other people. Don't try and save them or fix them, because you can't do that. Ultimately, the only thing you can do is just be true to yourself. Try and make sure that you are happy, and then if other people come into your life and they choose to try and better themselves, that's good. That's definitely good. And there are some people who literally have someone come into their life and they think to themselves, this person is really good, I want to be better because of them. But that's their personal choice. I can't go up to some nice young lady or young man, whatever my sexuality may be, and say, hey, I see that you're struggling, let me try and help you.
Yeah, that's where you get into, social institutions,
Yeah.
whatchamacallit.
And,
social workers, the people who know what they're doing, whatever. They have to get involved.
You can't be your partner's therapist, essentially. But if your partner gets together with you and is like, wow, this person is such a good person to be with. No, I don't want to say it that way, because that's a bad way of saying it, because you being good or bad has nothing to do with it. Your partner deciding to continue to be a shithead is not indicative of your character. It's indicative of their character. It's possible that... Sorry, go on, please. I'm talking.
Yeah, the issue, again, is that we live in a society where people who need help sometimes cannot get it because help requires money. Bullshit.
And sometimes people don't want that.
Exactly, that too. But, there's, two hurdles here. It's the old 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Of, if we could get to the point where, just get the people who don't want help and just, I don't know, let them go over there and be shitheads to each other or something. I don't know.
Okay. That's one
Well,
way
you
of
know-
saying it.
You know what I mean? Like, you just like, oh shit, Tom's an asshole. Probably shouldn't date Tom. And then Tom goes over to Cindy, who's also an asshole, and then they just be unhappy with each other because they don't want to go, talk to someone professional about their problems or whatever.
They don't want help, but they don't want to be alone.
Exactly. Well, I don't care if they don't want to be alone. It's just they get off Tinder for people who are working through their problems and go on, Tinder for people who don't work on their problems.
I guess that's one way of putting it.
That's my ideal society. Not even like social ostracization, just like, we don't date Tom. If Tom wants to get his act together, we can like be amicable and polite to Tom. I'm sorry, Tom. I'm sure you're a great person in real life.